The ninth topic in this end of term 3 exam questions is about AAS congruence criterion. AAS means angle side. We had gone through this in a couple of videos before, I believe, about all the different postulates of congruency. Now this is one of it, where two angles and a side is congruent or equal, then the entire triangles will be congruent. Now, this is a proving problem. I'm not exactly sure how this will come for MCQ. Maybe they will ask you, give you a statement and then ask the reason for the statement or something. But once we study this problems thoroughly, you will understand and you can solve it any way they ask you. So let's look at this first one. They've asked for two-column proof. Given AB is parallel to CD, look at this, AB and CD are parallel, and then CBD, angle CBD is congruent to ADB. That means this and this is congruent. Okay, we need to prove this triangle ABD is congruent to CDB. They have given these both are equal. How can we do the other steps? Let's see. For this, you can do a column, two columns, say for example like this, and then write the statements over here, statements, and then reasons, and then write the statement and the reason, and you can solve it, or you can just write the reasons in the bracket, however it's convenient for you. This is more preferred. All you need to write is over here, AB is parallel. These two lines, straight line means it's parallel to CD, and the reason is given. So same way you need to write all the others. So that's it. So just remember this box, statement, and reason. Now next one, angle CBD. This is also given. Angle CBD is congruent to ADB, given to us. What about the other thing? Now, since these two are parallel, we must recall, remember we had seen few of the theorems about parallel lines, angle, interior angle, exterior angle, corresponding angles. Now we must recall them. Why? Because there are two parallel lines. If the two lines are parallel, then we can use those theorems and we will use them now. ABD, can you see this angle over here, which I'll mark it as 2? ABD will be congruent to either CDB or BDC, this one. Why? Because they are interior angles, right? They are inside the two parallel lines and they are alternating angles. This will be congruent because they are inside the two parallel lines inside, and because they are mentioned this is parallel over here, only then we can use this theorem, otherwise no. Now because they're inside and they're alternating opposite sides, and this was already given, so we got two angles side to side equal. And now carefully look over here, this line, this is the same line for both, don't you agree? If this is 5 centimeter, even for this triangle and this triangle. So BD and BD, it's reflexive property because it's the same line. If it's same, it's basically like a reflection. So we call it reflexive property. Now from ASA, that is angle side angle, we have solved angle side angle. We have told that these two triangles are congruent. That is how we solve this basically. Now these are the statements and these are the reasons. So this is how we solve. Remember to write the statements and the reasons. Now maybe they might give you a statement and then ask you the reason. So in the MCQs, right? Because you will have 4 options. So you can easily look into the options. Deduce the others. You can easily tell, okay, this is wrong, this is correct, this is wrong, this is correct. So please do check the options properly and then solve it up. Now another one over here. So they have given few things, that is S, V and T are the midpoints of SV. Prove the two triangles are congruent. I'm just checking for the question. Okay, I'm sorry, I think so the figure is missing over here. Anyways, we can do with this itself. Let's just try to assume there is two triangles and they have told SV is the midpoint. Okay, and the angles are equal. Okay, it's very hard to do it without the figure. We have to prove these. So I will just tell you over here what's there. S and V is congruent over here. Why? Because this is the midpoint. Okay, let me tell a few things of midpoints. If you have angle like this, and I tell this is an angle bisected, if it's given, if it's angle bisected, then these both angles will be equal. Please remember that. It will always be equal. Now about midpoint, if I have a line, say S and T and S and V, and then I tell T is the midpoint, then these both lines are equal. That is about midpoint and bisector. These are important, crucial things. So even though we don't have the figure, we can at least solve this. And then over here, ST is congruent to TV. Why? Because that's because of the midpoint. Now they have told T is the midpoint of SV, right? That means this is phi and this is phi. Yes, they must be congruent. Congruent means equal. Then we don't have the figure, but from the figure we can tell this is vertical angle theorem, and then we can easily prove them. So it's very simple, just like this, but it's very hard without the figure. That I'm missing it. I apologize for that. But anyways, um, just like what we have followed over here, same way. Let's see the other problems over here. Say, for example, the flow proof. Okay, this is interesting. Now we have two column proof, which we just now saw, and there is something called a flow chart or flow proof. It doesn't matter because over here, basically you need to just see the options, right? So it doesn't matter which way you prove it, you should just basically prove it. In case you get so confused with this flow chart, just do the statement and reason, it's fine, because the same concept, it's just presented in a different way. It's basically the same food, it's just a different platter. That's the only thing. So now what do we do over here is you need to mention all the givens. This is given, right? AB is congruent to CB. That is AB and CB are equal. Okay, that is given. What is another thing? They are also given that A and C is equal. See, A and C. It's only possible with the figure, so that's why we struggled in the last problem. I'm sorry for that. Now, A and C over here are congruent. Okay, that's also given. What about the other thing? They have told DB bisects ABC. ABC is bisected by DB. That means this angle over here and over here are same. Then, what is remaining? We need to find, okay, one second, let's see what and all we found out. Angle, side, angle, side, this much was given, and this is the bisector. That means this and this angle are same. That is what we are telling. ABD and CBD are equal. Why do we get this? Because that is the definition of the bisector. A bisector over here means a line. This is the bisector. B means it cuts this angle into two equal parts. If this angle was 60, it will cut into 30 and 30 equally. Okay, that is about angle bisector. Now we have angle, side, and this angle over here. So we can easily tell because of ASA postulate, it is congruent. So this is it. So this is how we can easily solve it up. And okay, now this is one more thing. What they have asked us to prove AD is congruent to DC. Now, if we prove two triangles are congruent, then all the parts are congruent. This CPCTC, what does that mean? It means that congruent parts of congruent triangle are congruent. There is so much congruence. Now, congruent parts, that means congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's corresponding parts. Okay, I told three congruents. I'm sorry, I couldn't stop laughing just now. Its corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, corresponding means, now imagine these two triangles are congruent. You should see the corresponding. Now, if I take this side AD, this is the corresponding side. This is DC. So, or CD or DA over here. Anyhow, okay, AD and DC. So if I consider this is the corresponding side. Because these are corresponding triangles, they are always congruent. Okay, lots of information. Just please take your time for these videos because they're all paragraph proofs. Over here, it's again the same. All the proofs is written. Just go through it. They have given a lot of information. Just find which is find angle, side, and angle, and then you can easily solve it up. Over here, they have already mentioned CD bisects AE. So over here, this line is bisecting AE. That means AC and CE are equal. So this is equal. Then find the remaining angle. They have told angle E is equal to BCA. Okay. Then we have parallel lines, and we can easily find these two are congruent because of corresponding angles. Uh, you know, that's it. You need to see what is given, and then you need to see what can be solved. So that then easily you can prove them congruent. Same way over here. Make sure you read through this. Over here, it's again a simple one because it's 90 degree over here. Then this is equal, and then you should just find one more angle. Sometimes they'll mention the angle, so it is very simple. That's how we solve it. Over here, they have mentioned CE bisects. Okay, when CE bisects, these both are equal. If this is 90 degree, this is also 90 degree, and this is a common side, so this is equal. So angle, side, angle. Very simple and straightforward. Please do solve them by yourself and then refer the answer. Same way, try this by yourselves and then look for the answers over here. All the answers are given.